Okay, so I want to tell you something about octopuses that genuinely broke my brain when I first found out. And I am not talking about the stuff you learned in school. I am talking about the real weird stuff. The stuff that makes you stop whatever you are doing and just sit there thinking, how is this animal even real? Because here is the thing. The octopus is probably the strangest creature on this entire planet. And most people have no idea. They see it in an aquarium, think it looks cool, and move on. But if you actually sit down and look at what this animal can do, it changes the way you think about intelligence, about life, about everything really. So let me start from the beginning. The octopus has 3 hearts, not one like you and me. 3. One heart pumps blood around the body. The other 2 work specifically to push blood through the gills so the octopus can breathe underwater. Sounds efficient, right? Except here is the problem. When an octopus swims, actually swims through the water, 2 of those 3 hearts stop beating completely. Just stop. Which means every time it swims it is basically doing it with 1 heart working. So swimming is genuinely exhausting for them. That is why octopuses almost always prefer to crawl along the ocean floor instead of swimming. Because swimming literally takes everything out of them. And their blood is blue, not red like ours. Blue. Because instead of iron, octopus blood uses copper to carry oxygen. Copper-based blood works better in cold, low-oxygen environments like the deep ocean. So the blue blood is not a defect. It is actually a perfect design for where they live. But okay, that is just the warm-up. Now let me tell you about the brains. Because this is where it gets truly unbelievable. The octopus has 9 brains. 9. There is one central brain sitting in its head, just like you would expect. But then each of its 8 arms has its own completely separate mini-brain, built right into the arm itself. And these arms do not just receive instructions from the central brain and carry them out. They actually think on their own. Each arm processes information, makes decisions, and moves completely independently. So when an octopus wants to grab something, it does not micromanage each arm the way you move your fingers. It sends a general idea, something like, go find food over there. And then each arm figures out on its own how to navigate around rocks, squeeze into gaps, and grab whatever it finds. The central brain is more like a manager giving instructions. The arms are the ones actually doing the thinking on the ground. And here is something that will really mess with you. If you cut off an octopus arm, and scientists have actually tested this, that arm keeps moving and reacting on its own for up to an hour after it is completely separated from the body. No octopus attached. No central brain sending signals. Just an arm, alone, still making decisions. Because it still has its own brain. Still thinking. Still working. That is 9 brains. 3 hearts. Blue blood. And arms that think for themselves. But we are not even at the strangest part yet. Octopuses can change their color and the texture of their entire skin in under 1 second. 1 second. They can look at a background, coral, rock, sand, a specific pattern on the ocean floor, and transform themselves to match it so perfectly that they become completely invisible. Not approximately invisible. Completely. Scientists have filmed octopuses disappearing right in front of the camera in real time, and it looks like a magic trick every single time. They can make their skin completely smooth, or they can make it look rough and bumpy like a rock. They can make it look like seaweed. They can copy the exact color pattern of coral they have never seen before and match it in less than a second. Now here is the part that nobody can explain. Octopuses are completely colorblind. Their eyes only see in black and white. No color at all. Just shades of gray. So how is an animal that cannot see color somehow perfectly matching colors? How is it copying the exact orange of a piece of coral or the specific brown of a rock when it literally cannot perceive those colors? Scientists have been studying this specific question for years. There are theories. Some researchers think they might sense color through their skin directly. Others think their pupils work in a special way that lets them detect color despite being colorblind. But nobody has a definitive answer. It remains one of the genuine unsolved mysteries of the animal kingdom. An animal that is colorblind, perfectly matching colors every single time, and we still do not know how. Now I want to tell you something that honestly made me feel a little emotional when I first read about it. For everything the octopus can do, the 9 brains, the intelligence, the problem-solving, the camouflage, it only lives for about 1 to 2 years. That is it. Some species live a little longer, but most octopuses are gone within 2 years of being born. And the way their life ends is something else entirely. When a female octopus lays her eggs, she finds a den, a small cave or a crevice in the rocks, and she lays thousands of eggs inside. Then she stays. She guards those eggs every single day. She blows water over them to keep them clean and oxygenated. She protects them from predators. And during this entire time, which can last weeks or even months, she does not eat. Not once. She just sits there, slowly getting weaker, putting every last bit of energy she has into protecting eggs she will never see hatch into adults. Because shortly after the eggs hatch, the mother dies. She gives absolutely everything, her strength, her health, her life, just to give her babies a chance. And then she is gone. For an animal this intelligent, this complex, this genuinely remarkable, that feels like one of the saddest things in nature. So the next time someone tells you that sea creatures are simple, or that animals do not feel, or think, tell them about the octopus. Tell them about the animal with 9 brains, that thinks with its arms. The animal with blue blood and 3 hearts. The animal that is colorblind, but disappears in 1 second by perfectly matching colors nobody can explain. The animal that dies quietly in a den after spending its final months protecting its children without eating a single meal. The ocean is full of things we do not understand, and the octopus is right at the top of that list. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe right now because I do this every single week. I find the most unbelievable things in the world, and I tell you the whole story. No fluff, just the real stuff. See you in the next one.